Johnny and Ciampa basically sign on the dotted line for a match in 2 weeks' time. In a slightly weird section, I thought.
It was I wasn't a huge fan of this segment. I'm super into seeing the match, and I really like that they're just going to be like, right, it's just you two, a referee, and a ring. Go at it, because that's almost like a throwback to the first kind of Johnny Ciampa match, not in the Cruiserweight Classic, but after they split up as DIY, when it was an unsanctioned match. It was kind of a similar vibe to that, which I'm a big fan of. Wasn't a huge fan of Triple H being their dad and being just like, hey guys, so you've been fighting, so we're just going to have to solve this this way. Triple H.
I'm no longer
really
the game. I'm the mediation.
Yeah, it seemed really weird to me that Triple H was just kind of overseeing them and being like, "You come in that ring and you will not touch him because I said so. You go sit in the naughty corner.
Don't touch me." I like Johnny being the antagonist. Like, don't touch me.
Yes. Yeah, I really like Johnny in this.
Yeah.
It just came off really weird when Triple H was demeaning them down. It was weird. And
I think also like the sort of padding of the section of things like in wrestling, that's not how matches are made. Like normally, like what would have happened before is probably at the end of their brawl, Regal would have rushed in and gone, "Oh no, it's very naughty of you. You're gonna have a match in 3 weeks' time and sort it all out once and for all." But here it really felt like they were in therapy with Triple H as dad. And he was like, "Look, guys, I'm going to give you a match. When do you want it? When do you want to have a match? Like 2 weeks? What's it? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?" And it felt like a really odd negotiation to have. Like you don't see this aspect of wrestling very often where people actually discuss what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And so it was really weird to see this side of things. And then, he's going like, "What, when do you want to do it?" And Johnny's like, "Oh, I don't know, 2 weeks. Maybe they'll be ready by then." It's like, what?
It's so weird.
But it also makes me think, because Triple H was like, "I'll find a building, I'll give you a referee and a ring, and we'll see what's happening." So I wonder if there's going to be some twist to this formula here. Like, is the ring going to be somewhere really weird to finish this feud in like what feels like, because this is it now. Like they've kind of bigged up the idea that this is the end of the feud, in the fact that like if they touch each other, they're both out of NXT. Once this match is done, there'll be a winner decided and they can coexist in NXT going forward. Triple H even says, like, "You've both said that it's not big enough for both of you. I think it is. You're both going to be here, but if you ever pick up this feud again, you're out."
That was another thing that I really didn't like about this. It was Triple H just being like, "Oh, you guys and your bloody feud. You've made us so much money. How dare you?" Like, it was really like playing down that they shouldn't be feuding. I was like, why? This is like the best feud in NXT history. Why are you running it down like they should stop fighting? It was weird. I didn't.
You guys
shouldn't
do the wrestling.
Guys,
just see the wrestling.
Can you just stop wrestling, please?
All we've been trying to do is a friendship club here for years, and you guys have been ruining it.
We'll come on to this bit now, and then we'll go through kind of the rest of the changes on the card, just because this kind of fits in with what we're talking about. But the segment ended with a vignette of Killer Kross, what had been speculated to be Killer Kross for weeks. Now this was actually confirmed, because Killer Kross was actually in the vignette that played at the end. It was the three of them, Triple H, Johnny, and Ciampa, just standing in the ring, then be like, "It's 2 weeks, blah, 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 match made." And then this vignette just starts playing on the Tron, and they all turn around and watch it. It's more same of the apocalyptic imagery like we've been seeing before, but thrown into that was kind of images of Killer Kross flashing up here, there, and everywhere. TikTok coming up, and then the final shot is just like the minute hand on a clock just turning to 12, and then it just cuts to black, and that's the end of the episode.
The doomsday clock reaches midnight.
Exactly, yes. So I think, with this stipulation that he's going to go to a location with a ring, I think it's going to get kind of the more cinematic vibe to it. It's not just going to be them filming a match. It's going to be a cinematic thing. And I think that's going to allow them to do something with Killer Kross in that match. I think he's going to come in and maybe interrupt it or disrupt it or something like that. But they'll make it look like this epic, apocalyptic, huge thing with Killer Kross with all these special effects and stuff going on with it. So I think that's how they're going to get out of not having the feud end between the two and having Killer Kross immediately inserted into the main event. So they can still do the Johnny Ciampa final blow-off match when there's actually a crowd and a big takeover stage, rather than on an episode of NXT. But they're going to shift forward Killer Kross's debut to interrupt. That would be my theory anyway.
Yeah, and I imagine they probably have him injure one of them. He'd injure one of them and then start beef with the other one until whichever one goes out injured comes back, and then they can sort of do this rotation. I wonder in this scenario as well whether he's going to be an agent of Triple H. Because I think one interesting thing is obviously Triple H has been heavily involved in a lot of the WWE programming recently. He basically did a whole SmackDown on his own, seemingly from the camera work to the editing to the to the in-ring announcing. And he's done this. He's now appeared on NXT as well. And obviously, like, this is them trying to use his star power, I guess, to prop up the company, and also the fact that he has to be there anyway. So he might as well be used as an on-screen talent in this regard. But then it makes me wonder whether, like, they might, to bolster the brand for the next however long they're going to be locked down for, however long they can't really run live shows, which is going to be longer than I think even the lockdown runs for, of people being asked to stay at home. Like, even when we're allowed to go out again, huge public gatherings might still be limited. So there's that idea that, you could start to use Triple H as a proper on-screen guy with Killer Kross as his in-ring agent. I just think that might be something they look into doing.
I don't know if I want to see Triple H as an authority figure again, especially not as a heel one. Not a huge fan of that, especially when they already have such a good authority figure in William Regal, who's just kind of there and makes matches, and he doesn't really insert himself in too many ways. I really like that kind of dynamic they have, so I wouldn't want them to change that. And I would think that this segment on this show would have been with Regal if they could have had him there.
True.
So I think Triple H was just kind of the de facto Regal for this week. So I'm not as into that. I don't think. I just want Killer Kross to kind of come in and just be awesome and just go on a rampage by himself, because he's a untamed SOB or whatever. He's just kind of a huge destructive force and disrupts the whole balance of NXT and all that stuff. I think that would be much more enticing.
With his videos of what outside's like now that we haven't been there for a week.
Crazy.
That's what his vignettes are. It's just a glimpse into the future. It's all buzzards and tumbleweeds, abandoned Tesco's.
Yeah, it seems quite on the nose now. Apocalyptic imagery. It's like, ooh, it really it's a bit touchy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, thank God it's not Dean Ambrose doing his "You've all got germs" thing from a year ago.
God, coming out with a gas mask. Yeah. Jesus, getting shots from the dirty, disgusting people. Yeah, terrible.
I'm just saying WWE's got foresight. They know what's happening.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's like The Simpsons. They predict everything.